PowerGamer här som har fått titta på Metro Last Light. And here I'm standing with...
My name's Hugh Bynan, I'm the Studio Communications Lead for Metro Last Light.
Metro Last Light, is it based on the sequel, Metro 2034?
It's not based on the book. The first game was based on the novel Metro 2033 by Glukowski, who wrote a follow-up called Metro 2034 that just wasn't really suited for a video game adaptation. So we've actually worked really closely with Dimitri this time round. He's created an original story specifically for the game that continues Artyom's story. So I guess it is the true sequel to Metro 2033.
The main person, Artyom, will he speak more than in the first game?
We like the idea of a mute cipher character within the game world. It's something that's been discussed endlessly around the studio, but ultimately we feel having the character that you're inhabiting say stuff can really spoil the immersion if it's not what you want to say, and it's much more interesting, we think, for the player to be able to project themselves onto the character rather than have the character act and behave in a way that they maybe don't agree with. So for that reason, no, Artyom does not speak in the game.
Last Light takes place 1 year after. Yeah. So what happened in Moscow after the first game?
So somehow Artyom makes his way down from the top of the tower. I don't think we've fully explained how that happens, but suffice to say he gets safely to the bottom. He's fated as a hero almost by the people of the Metro for destroying the Dark Ones, this perceived threat. The reality is maybe a little different from that. He has some consequences to deal with, and that's really the main story, the main plot line of the game, which is Artyom's kind of second journey. I don't really want to say any more about that for now because it's really important that players discover that for themselves. But in the meantime, D6 has been discovered. Artyom and the Rangers broke the seals when they found the missiles there, and now it's this glittering prize at the centre of the Metro. All of the factions from Reich to Red Line and Hansa are all eyeing this prize, eager to get their hands on it. So that's the context of the story.
The political fractions from the first game, are they any new or they're still the same?
No, you're going to meet the same factions, although I think the plot revolves much more around them. So you'll be seeing the neo-fascists of Reich. They believe in Russian purity in the Metro. They're purging anyone that they suspect of mutation. The hardline communists of Red Line, they have plans and designs for the Metro of their own. So you'll see a lot more about the factions' motivations and characters within them.
How much will we see of Moscow and the Metro system?
So I think in the first game we were probably 80% underground and 20% on the surface. This time around it's closer to 60-40, maybe 70-30. So we take you up to the surface more often. We'll have some very recognizable places for you to visit, both underground and up on the surface this time around. And we've made some significant changes to the engine, which has allowed us to create much more varied outdoor environment. So you'll see dynamic weather, day-night cycles, fog and smoke rolling into the levels, lightning. We've really used these effects to bring the outdoor areas to life.
What about the weapons? Have they developed during this year?
Yeah, we've added a lot more weapons to the arsenal. We have this mixture between old world weapons, so some classic Russian weaponry, but also this handmade weaponry. It's all designed by our creative director, who's a mechanical engineer by training. So they're all designed so that they could theoretically work in the real world. So a huge amount of time and attention goes into the mechanical workings of these things, and we showed you some of that today. We slowed the game down. You saw the reloading mechanisms of the automatic shotgun, and that kind of detail goes into all of the weapons.
What about the mutants? Are they any new?
Yeah, by changing the environments, it's allowed us to explore some new mutant types. So we bring back most of the ones that you're familiar with from the first time round, but they've all gone under quite a radical visual redesign, and we've really expanded their AI and their combat routines. We also have new mutants. We showed you an area of swampland in the demo, and you have this amphibious creature which will use its claws and pincers as a shield to protect it as it advances towards you.
And the first game had let's say the good ending and the bad ending. In the last slide, will it be something similar?
Something similar. It's something that we don't want to talk too much about because I don't want to spoil the specifics for any of the players, but I think it's widely known now that Metro is constantly analysing your actions in the first game, and we don't present choice in the kind of classic role-playing game style where you're given a very overt, this is the good choice, this is the bad choice. As soon as you do that and turn it into a simple gameplay mechanic, players choose the option that they think will get them the ending that they want. We're a little more subtle in Metro. You'll be making countless decisions, whether you're aware of it or not. And these will all impact on ultimately your experience of the game.
The first game had, you can say, one problem. It was the filters. That you can find a lot of them. So basically you could be outside as long as possible. Have you made any changes in Last Light? It's more difficult to find filters.
It's kind of funny you say that, because I could speak to someone else and they'd say there weren't enough filters. Like I couldn't find any of them. Balance is something that's really critical to the game, and it needs to work for a lot of different players and player types. We have more sophisticated ways in which we can balance the game. We want to keep the player on that knife edge of having just enough resources to get by, but constantly need to find more. So you should always feel like if you need to find a new filter, you need more ammunition. You should never feel comfortable about the amount that you have in your inventory.
And what about the ammunition? It's like in the first game with high quality and lower quality?
Yeah, so we have this dual currency, old world ammunition manufactured before the apocalypse. It has military grade gunpowder and superior casing, so it's more accurate, it's more powerful. You can load it into some of your weapons and it will do more damage, but it also serves as the actual currency within the Metro. So you can either shoot it or you can save it and then use that to buy ammunition for your other weapon types, whether they're shotgun shells, harpoons for your Helsing, rounds for your revolver, or you can upgrade the weapons that you have or buy new weapons.
What about the dialogues? Will it be in English and Russian, like in the first game?
Yeah, this is something that I think the fans really loved about the first game. We're going to have that option to play it in Russian, and you can have the subtitles on or not as you see fit. For me, it's the ultimate way to experience the game.
So basically every interaction between different characters will be subtitled?
Not every interaction, and I've seen that point raised from time to time. A lot of the background chatter that you hear when you play through with Russian, we can't subtitle all of that. That's more just for a gameplay reason, because it's not always possible to tell who's actually saying, and we have so many voices going on at once. You just have this mess of subtitles. So all of the lead characters and the critical conversations would be subtitled. So what I would generally say to anyone who wants to play through in Russian is it probably makes sense to play through the game once in your native language, and then save the Russian version for a repeat play.
We've seen the footage from E3 that is both Russian and English in the sequences. Will it be just Russian and English, for example?
Yeah, I think the build that you saw at E3, we had a mixture of voices in there. It wasn't quite complete. It will be the final game either will be completely localized or it won't be. There won't be a mix of languages within them.
Will Artyom meet people from the first game?
Yeah, some of your favorite characters are going to return. We've already shown Han. Artyom's almost spiritual mentor from the first game, and you're going to see a few more familiar faces as well as some new ones.
And will he revisit his home station?
Wait and see.
Yeah. And the last question is, when is it going to be released and to which consoles?
So Metro Last Light will be released on PC, 360 and PlayStation 3 in early 2013.
Yeah, that's it. Спасибо большое.